So gopis, when they are talking to each other, they also discuss about cows. The cows, they see their moods in the hearts of the cows. Look at the condition of these cows. When these cows hear the sweet sound of Krishna's flute, when Krishna plays the flute and that sound comes and it enters in the ears of these cows, then it seems like as if that sound, flute sound, comes like a nectar and enters in the ears of the cows. Gopis are saying when these cows, these Braj cows, when they hear the flute sound of Krishna, it seems like as if the nectar, that's that that flute sound of Krishna which Krishna plays is just like a nectar, and it enters in the ears, and they stop eating the grass. You might have seen this sometimes. We see this during Kartik Parikrama at some places where we do kirtan. The cows and the calves, they are eating the grass, and they would stop eating and they would just look at us when we do kirtan. So Krishna's Venu Dhwani, Krishna's Venu sound, it enters in the ears of the cows, and they stop eating the grass, they stop eating their food, and their attention, all of their attention goes towards listening to Krishna's flute sound. They make their ears stand and they give their full attention to that Venu Nad, Krishna's Venu's flute song. That is why in this in such a situation, which is more important? Filling your stomach or filling your ears? Parishit Maharaj, when he was not eating or drinking anything, what was entering in his ears? The nectar which was coming from the lotus mouth of Shukdev Goswami, Bhagavad Katha, that was entering in the ears of Parikshit Maharaj. And when it entered in his ears, that nectar which was entering in the ears of Shukdev Goswami, how would he have any this idea of eating or sleeping or drinking? So for 7 days he did not eat, he did not drink, he did not sleep. Govardhan Dharan Leela, where Krishna carried Giraj on his left hand on the smallest finger, like this. So all the Brajvasis, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, for 7 days and 7 nights, they were standing under Giraj. No one ate anything, no one drank anything, no one slept for 7 days and 7 nights. Why? Because Krishna is standing in front of all of them, and he's giving his nectarian darshan to all of them. Then how can we think of eating or sleeping or drinking at that time? So even these calves, they are eating the grass, and the moment the nectarian sound of Krishna's flute enters in their ears, they stop eating and they make their ears stand, and they make their face up, and through their ears they give full attention to Krishna's that direction. They give full attention to that direction from where that sound is coming. They are they are just quiet. All these cows are quiet, still. So like we make a photo, a sketch. We make a sketch of someone. So that sketch doesn't speak anything. How is the sketch? Stagnant, like a statue. That's the same situation of the cows. And then they okay, further it is being described, such a beautiful point here, that the cows, they are drinking the nectar from through their ears, and Nectar means Venu sound. They don't want to pull their ears down. Why? That nectar should not s- uh, slip out. It should just go inside our ears. When we hear Kirtan and Katha, our ears are just standing straight. But when we sleep during Katha, what happens? Like this. We just keep our face down, and our ears also. What happens? The nectar doesn't enter our ears, it just goes out when we sleep in Harikatha. But look at these cows. Those who are rasik in Krishna Katha and who always hear Harikatha, who only wants to hear Harikatha, they drink this Harikatha like a nectar. For them, they don't sleep in Harikatha. They always keep their face like up, and with their ears, standing ears, they hear Krishna Katha again and again, again and again, again and again. This is Krishna Katha. The ears of the cows are not just ears, they are like a dona. Dona means leaf cup. We eat in a leaf cup in India during parikrama. It's like a round shape, like this dona. Whatever you put in that dona leaf pot, it holds it. So cows' ears are not just simply some ears, but their ears actually capture the Harikatha. And through their ears, so with both of their ears, they are drinking the Harikatha. There's a word used called chakkar. Chakkar. It's a Hindi word. It means like sugarcane juice, and we drink one glass. Oh, it's so tasty, so sweet. Give me one more glass. We drink another glass, another tasty glass. We drink the third glass, fourth glass. So much we drank that we are so full now. Our stomach is so full now. It has sugar and ginger and lemon, and it becomes very tasty. And then when our stomach is so full, then we say, today I drank Ganika juice, the sugarcane juice, um, to my fullest, basically, like to my fullest. So the cows are also drinking this nectar of Krishna's flute sound to their fullest. Then it is being described. The cows can be in- they can be without wisdom, like the wives of demigods. Another beautiful point here. Let's hear it again. Do the cows have feelings inside them? Do they have wisdom? Consciousness. Cows have consciousness, and with consciousness, they also have wisdom. They are mature. So these cows are not wisdomless, they have wisdom. Like you take a stone has wisdom, intelligence? No, stone has no wisdom. He is without wisdom. It has no consciousness, but the cows are not like stones. Cows have wisdom, they have consciousness. But a very beautiful point is being described here. You can note it down. When the wives of demigods in the sky. They were in the sky in their planes, and they heard Krishna's Venu sound. And since they are Ramaniya, they are in female bodies, they are demigoddesses. Inside them, inside in their heart, so they feel something of Madhurya Ras, like the gopis of Vrindavan. Okay, they are in Shingaras, the gopis, but Shingaras doesn't just mean makeup. It means Madhuri. That bhav which gopis have towards Krishna, that's called Shingaras. Those who want to learn, it's for them. Shingaras means the love gopis have for Krishna, or you can call it Madhuri Ras. Madhuri Ras. When demigoddesses hear Krishna's flute sound, in their heart, Madhuri Ras stimulates after hearing Krishna's Venu's sound. But does it happen with cows as well? Where are these demigoddesses who are in female bodies? They are female section, so they can get this stimulation. But cows also get this. This is being pointed out here. So do cows also feel this Madhurera stimulation in their heart? So Maharaj is again repeating the same verse. Okay. So the cows of Vrindavan, can they also have feelings like the wives of demigods? The cows are not Ramaniya. The wives of demigoddesses are Ramaniya. They hear Krishna's Venu's sound and they get some stimulation of Gopi Bhav. Stimulation, only stimulation of Madhuras, but not with the cows. Cows are Vatsalyamai, motherly affection. They have Vatsalya Bhav. But Venu's sound is the speciality of Venu's sound is that cows are not capable of Madhuras. They have no parvesh, entrance to Madhuras, but the Venu's sound has no limit. There is no barrier, no boundary for Krishna's Venu sound. So that Venu sound, when it enters even the cows, it also stimulates Madhuras inside the cows. Inside the cows. This is the important point here. The speciality of Krishna's Venu Nad. And birds, animals, Venu has no limit. It is limitless. And where is Sakhiras? Where is Madhuriras? We are animals and birds and cows, and we are gopis who are in Madhur Bhav. There is no comparison among all these people, these entities. The the power of Venu's sound, Krishna's Venu's sound, it enters in everyone's ears, and it it is capable enough to stimulate its Madhuri Ras in everyone's heart. The sweetness of Madhuri Ras. This is Venu's uh, astonishing feature of Krishna's flute. Now the gopi is saying to another gopi, "Oh my dear friend, oh my dear friend, come to me. When we are very close to someone, then we call them like this. Oh my dear friend, come. Sakhi ri, because you are close to me. Are idhar aa to, like, you please come here, come here. Or tumne did you do this task? Or it's actually, when we call to someone with respect, in English everything is you. Whether someone is junior or senior, this applies to everyone. You, senior, junior, same age group, everything is you in English. But in Hindi, it's not like that. In Hindi, we don't call tum to our elderly people. We call like aap. And those who are just like our age, we call them like tum. And those who are junior, children, we call them like tu. Aap, tum, tu. So where where there is some intimacy, some closeness there, even if we don't call them out of respect, like we don't use the word aap. So gopis are so close to each other, so intimate with each other. So when they are addressing to each other, they're calling us Sakhi Ri. Ri means like someone who's close to my heart, of my age. Sakhi Ri. Sakhi means friend. The face of Krishna. Okay, here it is said, oh my friend, Krishna's lotus face. From Krishna's face, when the nectar, which is Venu's sound, it comes and enters in the cave of cow's ears. How are the holes in our ears? They are called cave, gufa, cave. And we have a cave in our heart as well. One cave in our ear, another cave in our heart. Have you ever entered or seen a cave? The more you enter inside it, the more it becomes deep and dense and dark. That's how a cave is. So our ears are also like that cave. In scriptures, there are two caves which are mentioned. Eyes are not compared to a cave. Have you ever heard? Never. Not even it's said for our nostrils. Never. Only two caves are described in scriptures. Two types of caves. One is ears, another is our heart. They both are like caves. Like yesterday, I mentioned about one verse. Yat anuchit lila karna piyush vipurat. These caves of our ears, when Krishna Katha enters in these caves, then that gives us direct audience of Krishna. And only after that, the effect of that would be definitely, definitely the reaction would be, if once you hear Krishna Katha, there would be a reaction, definitely. So when you hear Shrimad Bhagavatam or Gurudev's scriptures, you will read the word Karna Kuhar. Karna Kuhar, the caves of ears. It enters Harikatha in the caves of ears. So heart is also like a cave. Tell me the verse. Use your brain. Gurudev is asking. It is also being described about the cave of heart. अनर्पितम चरिन चिराग कारुण्य अवदीन तरु समर्पयतु उन्नत उज्ज्वल रसाम स्वभक्ति श्रियम हरि. In the cave of our heart, Mahaprabhu would manifest. Mahaprabhu and manifest in our heart means what? He, our qualities, our glories, the in deep inside our heart, the cave of our heart, the glories, the importance of Mahaprabhu should come. I like you from the deep bottom of my heart. We say like this, right? What does bottom means here? There's up and down, left, right, up, down. Bottom of the heart means the cave of the heart, antarang. So Rupa Goswami in his prayer says, Sada Hirde Kandreshu Suhrute Sachinandan. In in the cave of my heart, Sachinandan should manifest. Sfurit means I should only see your face. No, your vadanata, your generosity, your qualities, your features, good qualities, they should enter in our heart. So in scriptures, when you read in our scriptures in Hindi or English, only two types of caves are being described. One is ears, the cave of ears, and another is cave of our heart. What's the connection between heart and ears? Our heart and our ears. Which verse? Which is the verse here? Which describes this relationship between our ears and heart? Gurudev is asking. Bhavanti hit karna rasayan katha. Kapil Bhagwan says to Mata Devhuti in Srimad Bhagavatam, Hey Mata, oh my dear mother, take association of my devotees, hear Harikatha from their lotus mouth. Bhavanti, how? Hit and Karna, Rasayan Katha. There's a beautiful relationship between our ears and heart. Two ears coming together. Maharaj is making this pose. And if you write heart, Hear, the word ear is present in heart. Wow. So heart and ear, they are connected. You hear Krishna Katha from your ears, and it will enter in your heart. That's it. That's it. In Bhagavatam, we have seen, in Gita also we have read, these two important points are described. Gopis are saying, Hey Sakhiri, so the cows cannot understand that which music is this. Now those who hear music, they know rag has some swar, different levels, types of rags. Those who are learning, they know this. In rag, there is a knowledge of swar is required. Okay, even if you learn mridanga, in mridang also, it's required to have the knowledge of swar. We don't sing just randomly. If you want to sing the rag, you need to have the knowledge of swar. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa sa ni dha pa, etc., etc. Maharaj is singing like this actually. The knowledge of music. So cows who are listening to Krishna's flute song, they they the cows are not able to understand that type of rag or music. So what are they understanding? Annivarchaniya means unparalleled, no comparison. That cannot be described in some words, that cannot be explained, or that cannot be described. Such, such unparalleled, unnivarchनीय. Ma, okay. So the cows don't have any knowledge about music. They're not bothered about that. But they are enjoying that sound of Krishna's flute, and they want to just, let that sound enter in the caves of their ears. That's it. The way, um, if you keep some tasty liquid juice in your bowl to drink it, similarly these cows, they are, okay, let's simplify this one. As if there's we have some liquid, some juice or soup. It's very tasty. Or maybe rice pudding, kheer, um, and such a preparation we keep in a pot, and we have it, we consume it, we enjoy it, we relish it. Similarly, the cows also, with both of the ears, they are just enjoying drinking the flute sound, the madhure of flute song, and they keep it saved in their ears, and they're completely absorbed. They have no consciousness of outer world. This is happening with the cows in Braj cows. And who is describing this? Cows? Is cows speaking like this about cows? No. Gopis are speaking about cows like this. This is important here. Now these, maybe cows are not feeling like this, but gopis, they have these moods inside their heart. So they are connecting or seeing these moods in the cows. If someone has never ever tasted rice pudding in their life, uh, and another person is there who is always daily enjoying Amrit Keli Kheer. He's consuming it and he's relishing it. And the other person who is hungry is just looking at this person. And the one who eats this rice pudding daily, he understands the taste of rice pudding. And the person who is hungry, okay, so this person who is getting to eat rice pudding daily, he can, feel like this. Or now this person who is eating kheer, this poor fellow who doesn't get it daily, he will relish different flavors, um, cashews and raisins and all those, he's relishing. So gopis are speaking this. The cows are actually enjoying or not, don't know. But the gopis, as per their moods, are able to see these moods which are inside them. They are able to see them in the cows. These cows are so dear to Krishna. Okay, so now those calves which Krishna used to take for cow grazing, Now those calves have become cows, they have become bigger. And Krishna would, serve these cows. He would sing, like, he would do like this to his cows, like this, out of love. When they grew up, the calves, they refused to go to the forest with anybody else. They only wanted to go for cow grazing only with Krishna. He would bathe them with his own hands. He would love them. He would care for them. He would feed them. Now those calves have become like cows, big in size. That's why those cows refuse to go out with anybody else. Not even with Nand Maharaj. They only want to go with Krishna. So Krishna has to go himself along with them. He has to take them out for cow grazing. They are so close to Krishna since his childhood. If someone says that somehow Krishna is so dear to these cows, even though these cows have no wisdom, but they have love for Krishna. That's why when they hear Krishna's Venunad, they become unconscious. But this is not the way. Let's hear this question again. Gopis are raising one point here, one question here, and that is that Krishna, who has become bigger now, but when he was small, he would play with these calves. He would serve them, he would feed them. And now they have become cows. So now these cows refuse to go out to the forest with anybody else. So since childhood, these calves are so close to Krishna. Now these calves have become cows. Krishna is so clever, like it is said in Bhagavad Ji, Abhigya Swarat. Which verse is this? First verse. You all should learn this verse. You might say, oh, it's so difficult. But did you try? Have you tried? If you read one thing daily, you will learn it daily. It might take 1 month, 6 months, but at least in 12 months, you can learn it. In 1 year by Karthik. First verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadasya Janmata Abhigya Swarat. Abhigya means Krishna is Abhigya. Abhigya means he knows everything. He knows everything and he understands everything. Why did I appear? He knows this. Abhigya. Why I had to come on earth? Prem ras nirjas korite swadan. To taste the love. In future, what leelas, pastimes I have to perform? He knows this. He knows this. So since childhood, Krishna practiced cow grazing and playing flute. His entire plan is set. We ask people, do you have any plans? Yes, I'm scheduling my plans. I have plan about what I have to do next year, or after 5 years, or after 10 years. I have complete structured plan. So Krishna is also completely planned. Since childhood, he practiced playing the flute. Krishna, although he doesn't need to practice, he knows everything. He's Abhigya. But on earth, he has come, appeared on earth. So he has to act like ordinary human like pastime, just like humans, not like God. So that simple boy, it is shown, Krishna is showing it, that I am practicing playing the flute. Kavi Karnapurn Goswami wrote this in his Granth. Why he's practicing like this? Practicing because in future this flute would be of great help. In future, he was practicing it since childhood because I have to play it and call her gopis. But he's practicing it since childhood. So his entire plan is set, Krishna's. In childhood, he cannot do this. He cannot play Vamshi and attract the gopis. And after childhood pastimes comes his Pogand and youth Leela. So he doesn't just play the flute randomly in front of everyone because he doesn't want others to doubt him. That's the reason since childhood he's playing the flute. So people would have faith in him. Oh, has been playing the flute since his childhood. Another point is why he was behind Nanda Maharaj, that I want to serve the cows. The calves. You all got the hint. You all got the hint. So those same calves, when they grew, they became Krishna's cows and they developed relationship with Krishna. Mamatva. And this became the excuse to become Radha to meet Radharani and gopis. So this Venu and the cows, they helped a lot Krishna to meet with Radharani, to meet with gopis. This is the point here. Further, it is being said, so since childhood Krishna loved the cows. If someone says, now this is the question here. If someone says that this is the reason cows are so near to Krishna, even though these cows have no wisdom, but they still love Krishna. They are in animal body, the cows, but still they love Krishna. And that is why Krishna, when they hear Krishna's flute song, they become astonished. So, hey, oh Sakhi, this is not true. This is not the case. The point is, if you say that because of this Krishna loves the cows, then and even the cows are having no intelligence or wisdom, but still they love Krishna. Still they love Krishna. No, 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 my Sakhi, no, this is not the point. If just once, just look at these calves just for once. All these calves, which are just 3 or 4 days old, those who are still drinking the mother of their cows, and they have no connection with any other thing. Even the such cows get attracted to Krishna's Venu Nath and they become astonished. Okay, forget about big cows. These calves who are just 3 days old, who is not even able to stand right now, and the calves who only drink the milk of their mothers, the new calves. Have you ever seen? He has no knowledge of outer world. Even if a child takes birth in our family, does he have any r- any other task to do? He only has one job to do, to drink the milk of its mother. Even the human child or cow's child, they only have to just drink milk, nothing else they have to do, nothing else. But gopis are saying, see, these calves who are just 2 3 days old, who just took birth, who is still who just knows how to drink the milk of their cows, even them, when they hear the Venu sound of Krishna, that child becomes astonished. That sorry, calf becomes astonished. So in Gopal Champu, there is one verse, Harir Champu. There's a verse now which Maharaj is explaining now. It means, it means, anyone knows Sanskrit? Maharaj is asking. If yes, then you would have understand the meaning. You all are great scholar. You know Sanskrit. If you speak different languages, German, Dutch, English, blah 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 blah. If you say something like this, then we will only understand blah blah blah. And then we say no no means now we will explain the meaning. So we all heard this verse of Sanskrit, but some people don't know Sanskrit. So it means Sri Hari's lotus face. Sri Hari's beautiful lotus face, definitely by the magic of Venu Nath, Sri Hari's lotus face is definitely showering nectar by the excuse of Venu's sound. In reality, the Venu is not giving rain shower. The flute is not giving any rain shower. If you carry a flute in your hand, will that flute give you rainfall, nectarian rainfall? Unless and until Sham Sundar's lips on his lips, the Venu doesn't come, so the nectar won't come. So in reality, the Venu is not doing the rain of nectarian. Krishna is doing it by the excuse instrument of the Venu. Venu. The cows and the calves, the number of cows and calves they are present, they are they are drinking the the nectar. Actually, the nectar is taken through the tongue, not through the ears. But if you just make a very nice delicious halwa or puri, desi ghee halwa or chana, every halwa puri chana, do you eat by ears or tongue? By tongue, right? Now the calves are listening through their ears. They are drinking the network. So, but where's the tongue? Okay, it is said that their ears became their tongue. Their ears became their tongue. And through that tongue, they are drinking the nectar. So now we don't know which tongue this is because we are taking the nectar through ears. Krishna's Venu sound, that nectar of that Venu sound, when it enters in the ears of the cows, in the cave of their ears, then in their heart, they get unvarniyah. They feel some bodily symptom in their heart. They get such feeling, the gopis, which cannot be described. Avarniyah. It cannot be explained in words. Through words, it cannot be explained. So they get such feeling, gopis, that make them from their um, the cows start giving milk spontaneously. Okay, so another point here, which is very beautiful. The cows from the udder, cow gives milk when? Cow is standing and it would just give milk? No. When she sees her calf, her child, seeing her baby, she licks the baby calf and then the milk starts coming from her. In Vrindavan, this does not happen. This doesn't happen like this. She does not give milk just by seeing her calf. She gives milk by hearing, after hearing Krishna's Venu Dhwani, Venu Nath, and spontaneously the milk starts coming. This is such a sweet Madhur Bhav here. Spontaneously the milk starts coming. When they take darshan of Krishna, the cows, so they touch Krishna, they hear Krishna's Venu Nath. All this is very strong, especially Venu Nath. It is such a magic that just by hearing Krishna's flute song, they are getting such symptoms that they start giving milk automatically. So with speed, this Madhurya Ras manifests. Without hearing Krishna's Venu Nath, the cows, the, this is also a very beautiful, interesting point here. Unless and until that cow does not hear Krishna's Venu Nath, it won't give any milk. When does a female get milk in her chest? When the child gets born. Then, but by hearing without hearing Krishna's Venu Nath, the gopis they don't get any milk in their breast. But Krishna's touch, Krishna's uh, flute song, automatically, spontaneously, the milk comes, and the calves drink that milk. But what do the calves do? Even the Venu song enters in the ears of the calves, and they have lost their consciousness right now. They don't have in any consciousness. Till now, I told you about cows that they get no milk. But the moment they take darshan of Krishna, they touch Krishna, they hear its song, automatically the milk starts coming. But what's happening with the calves? The calves who are just 2 or 3 days old, by hearing Krishna's Venu song, they lose their consciousness. They have no consciousness. And these calves, they are those who only want to drink the milk from the mothers. But here the situation is different in Vrindavan. Here the situation is through Venunath, through the Madhure sweetness of Venunath, the calves have lost their consciousness. So even though they have their mouth and they are trying to drink milk, but the milk won't go, below their throat. So actually, in this world, cow directly comes uh, and goes to the calf that you please drink my milk, but the the calves have no interest in drinking milk. The milk is not going down. This is such a magic actually. the milk gets stuck in their throat of calves. It's not going inside because the entire body is filled up with the sound of Venu. If there is any space, then the milk can go inside. But how? All the space is occupied. It's occupied by the sound of Venu, that nectarian sound of Venu. So even those calves, they take the milk of their cows, but they're not able to take it down because after hearing Venunath, they become so absorbed, helpless, that automatically the milk comes from the calves, but the calves are not taking it. They're not taking it. They try to drink, but the milk only stays in their throat, fill their throat. But the calves are not able to drink milk. So how much can they actually carry in the mouth? There's some limit. When the mouth becomes overflown, then from there, from their lips, the milk is coming out. The calves are not able to drink that milk. So much milk is there. That is why the cows, they close their eyes. They close their eyes and they put their face up, and like a photo, they become like statue, the cows, after hearing Krishna's Venu sound. In the mouth of cows, there's always some grass, but this time it's just stuck in their mouth. They're not able to swallow it or eat it. So who has this is the situation of Braj, situation of this flute, so much powerful. So I say this in Bhagavad Katha. In Dwarka, Krishna, he carried which weapon? Sudarshan, Chakra. And Vrindavan? Venu, flute. Which weapon can be more bigger, stronger than this? With Sudarshan, you can kill the throat of the enemy. But with Venu Dhvani, everyone becomes stagnant after hearing Krishna's Venu sound. Nar Nari, forget about them. The cows and even calves, they are in such a high situation. And a calf who is just 2 years old, he is in such a situation that he is not drinking the milk. Because through the ears of cows, the nectar of Venu Dhvani is entering. And who is playing that flute? Not an ordinary musician, not a flute player. So Bhagwan is saving, or Bhagwan is making them dance. Those who have only nectar in their Harikatha, Ta Katha, Gopi Git. This verse is from Gopi Git. This is Venu Geet. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, no class tomorrow. Tomorrow we will sing the glories of Lord Ram. Krishna plays the Venu, and Ramji carries bow and arrow. But Ram Leela has so much madhurya. In his hands, Ram has weapons, bow and arrow. Bhagwan Ram's Swarup is contrary. In his hands, he has bow and arrow. Whenever you see Ram's temple or you see his photo or when you hear his glories, he has bow and arrow in his hands, but in his eyes, he has so much compassion. In the tears of Ramji, there is so much compassion. And in his character, there's so much awe and reverence. And in his hands, he has a bow and arrow. If someone has a weapon, or you are, how will be the outlook of a person who is like a kshatriya? He's short tempered like Parshuram. He carries axe in his hand, Parshuram, but he karuna vidhan. For Ramji, it is said, "O Ram, please show your compassion." Through his ears only. Okay, so through his ears he has compassion. Through his okay, giving place to fallen souls. This is the importance of Lord Ram. Tomorrow we will be fasting, everyone. We will reside near Lord Ram by hearing their Harikatha, whether in India, you are in India or outside India. Even here, tomorrow at 12 noon, there's some function. There would be Kirtan. Wherever you are, you sing the glories of Lord Ram, Kaushalya Hitkari. And then on Monday, tomorrow we will take the mercy of Lord Ram. And on Monday, again we will start with Venu Geet. Siyavar Ramchandra ki Jai. Let me show you Darshan of Thakurji. Maharaj is showing the altar of the devotee where in America, from America. You can see in your phone maybe. Okay. Now, Jai Shri Radha. All glories to Shri Radha Govind Dev Ji. Jai. So Maharaj is saying, who is more sweet, Krishna or Radha? But everyone knows who is more sweeter. All glories to Radha Rani ki Jai. And from where you will get their mercy? Look at these Gaur-Nitai. They are doing Sankirtan. Shishi Gaur Nitan Prabhu ki Jai. Then look at this small Gopal. He is the like highlight. Maharaj is saying little baby Krishna. And there is Giraj as well in the altar. It's a complete package here. All glories to Shri Venu Geet Jai. Gaur Premanand.